before I started Grassroots with Russell, co-founded that.
Russell, yeah.
Before I started that, had a couple other organizations, but I got to a point a couple years into Grassroots where I was like, you know what, I want to be a part of something that's more holistic in the development of children. And so, two friends of mine who are also, educators, we sat down and came up with phase one, and, left Grassroots and started phase one. And phase one is an acronym, and it means P is for potential, H is for heart.
Yes.
A used to be for academics, but we changed that to attitude because attitude we felt covered academics as well too.
Yes.
And S is for skills, and then that the sum of those things equals an elite one, which is the E. And an elite one is somebody who now understands that how to overcome adversity, accomplish goals, pursue and reach goals. And being an elite one is more of a journey as opposed to a destination.
Great.
So that it was like this whole holistic, social type organization that we were putting together. And the idea
where are you all based though? Because I know you said it was a partnership, but like there is some in the States, there's some here in Canada.
That's in 2002.
Okay.
That was a long time ago. We started phase one like 18 years ago after
wow.
leaving. Yeah. And so, I mean, like I said, been doing this for a long time. And then, and when we started, we had dance programs, tutoring, workshops. We just basically said, we're going to take every talent that God blessed us with, and we're going to run some sort of youth program to engage children, and that's what we did. So Sherilyn Scobie and Marsha McDonald, they were the two that started with me. And, Sherilyn's awesome, incredible woman. They're both still educators at, I'm not sure exactly where now, but they're still involved in education and working with children. And I just sort of continue the legacy of phase
Great. One. Wow. So then with phase one becomes an elite one. So what is the journey of an athlete mean to you?
Well, the journey, according to us, with an elite one is like we said, you know what, when we're working with children, like the idea of becoming elite was something that we wanted to help them understand, that even if you are, arrive at a place of being elite, because elite is an arrival. To become elite is arrival. But we're trying to say to them that even when you look at Tiger Woods, LeBron James, like anybody who's great, who we think is arrived at being a place elite, they actually haven't stopped. They have other goals. I always ask kids, I said, what do you think's next for LeBron James? Another ring, another. No, that man is trying to own buildings, own leagues. It's a journey. So I said to them that being an elite one is being on this journey of setting and reaching goals, and just setting higher goals and greater goals.
Great.
As opposed to a place of arrival, just I'm going to get there and I'm going to stop. So the journey of an elite one from an athlete perspective is getting up every day, setting goals, reaching goals, setting new goals, raising the bar, and staying on that path. And I always tell them that you are no longer an elite one when you decide to give up. That's the only time. But as long as you are actually trying to set and reach goals, then you're an elite one.
You're an elite one. It's I always say life is a journey, so it never ends as long as and there is no finish line. So just keep going. Yeah, so I like that mentality.
I mean, look at Bezos. You think that man's trying to stop at 200 billion? That man's on a journey. If he can go get that trillion, he's going to get that trillion. And and some people just have that mindset. So we look at them as elite in a sense of they've arrived, but they're looking at you like, man, I'm just scratching the surface.
Starting. Yeah, I'm in the middle, and I'm going.
I'm going. That is the journey of an elite one.
Great. So as a parent of student athletes, I have this dream, or my kids have dreamed that they want to be an elite one athlete, So what are some of the things that myself or any other parents should be looking for when it comes to coach? I know we touched point on it a little bit earlier when it comes to the league itself, but what should parents, moms, dads, uncles, anyone who's involved in trying to build an elite athlete look for when it comes to coaches or organizations? Like certain things that you, from your perspective, is something that would, be a ding of yes or no perspective.
Organization. If they are organized, especially in the basketball community, because you're not, like there's a lot of disorganized people and organizations. So you can save yourself a lot of headaches just by looking for the ones that are organized, and then I mean, you can always check somebody's track record and history. I mean, like do your homework. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, we all have a bag of haters. Obviously, if you just put my name out there, I have people that love me and people that hate me. But whether you love me or hate me, there's a lot of people can't dispute that I'm a builder. I've had a lot of success with athletes. I've had a lot of success building programs, and I have a track record of it. So, I mean,
Yep.
sometimes, especially as Black people, we're very unforgiving to each other, and people want to, they'd much rather tear me down for my mistakes or the ventures that didn't work out.
Yep.
But rarely ever do we want to give ourselves credit. But I would say to a parent, look for those successes in those organizations. Look for, the things that they've done, very well. And if those things are in line with what you want for your child, then
Exactly.
you got to block out the noise and just
And
get
focus.
get that
Yeah.
get that out of that organization. And that's it.
Exactly. Now, so say, and I don't know if you know how my questions are going. I'm trying to build a story here. So I get in, I join this particular organization, and now, my kid loves going to practice and back and forth. But every now and then, you feel like you need to get them going. What can we as parents to get them, really motivated into not just only sports, but also as a student athlete per se? Because like you said, you joined it as a way to sort of, get out of troubles or not get into trouble. But you also want to make sure that it's not just dribbling the ball. It's not just kicking the ball. It's not just throwing the ball, but there's more to the sport and keep them motivated on a consistent basis. What's some of the things that you will recommend for, moms or dads or parents to make sure that their kids are consistent with being a student athlete?
Well, I mean, it's interesting you say that because, one of the things that I do consulting, educational consulting, and one of the biggest challenges for educators and for parents is student engagement. How do you keep students engaged? Because if students are engaged, they're going to learn, and if
Yeah.
they're engaged, they're going to stay focused, they're going to stay on task. And
Yeah.
so